The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, live now.
Wrestling fans, Trash Talking Radio, 7 to 10 every Tuesday. It's not just the coolest, oh no, it's not just the best. Trash Talking Radio, that, my friend, is just incredible.
This is Danny Bonaducci. Nobody trash talks like me. That's why I quit the Park Patrol family. A bunch of goofballs dressed up in red velvet suits. How embarrassing. David Cassidy was there. I tell him what I think about him. 7 to 10 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the living legend Larry Zbyszko broadcasting a direct news bulletin from Larryland. And when you're driving in your car at home listening to radio, make sure you're listening to Mike Trash on Trash Radio and know all the scoop.
I'm Christopher Cruz. Listen to Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern at trashtalkingradio.com.
This is Ivan Koloff, the Russian Bear. I would advise everybody to listen to Trash Talking Radio, Tuesday, 7 to 10. That around. If you want to know and love wrestling, you will listen to Trash Talking Radio.
The following program
Tuesday,
contains
7 to
scenes
10.
and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
In 5, 4, 3,
2, 1.
Quarantine!
Blast off.
Oh.
There we go. Well, that didn't work as planned.
You should know never to try something new on a Tuesday. Haven't you learned in the, 20-some years?
I believe in making an adventures.
Okay.
That's what it's all about. Life is an adventure. So, little by little, things are working, but those of you at home that are wondering what is going on, the mix went down on us, so this is the first time in about, I've been with them 10 years. First time in 10 years, unless he fired me. He may have fired me and didn't tell me.
That would be rude.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time I was fired and they didn't tell me. But I don't know what the reason is, but I just couldn't log on to their server, and I got our server working, and it was working last week. I just don't know what happened.
Maybe it's coming down with the coronavirus.
And yeah, I don't know what it is. Anything could happen the way that things. Now I got YouTube working again. That's what took me so long, is that I had to figure out that YouTube changed some of their settings and didn't bother telling me. I think they don't like me anyway, so they probably would be happy if I didn't know. And you just go through these things and changes.
Yeah, I've heard that somewhere before.
Yeah. Well, let's go through the roll call here. First one, let's check our Facebook and let's see if everything appears to be working. Now, I'm hoping I got rid of that noise. We had a strange noise thing last week. And
I wouldn't call Buddy strange.
let me see here. All right. Now, let me see here. Okay, I got our Facebook up, and hey, Nietzsche. Hey, Shelby. Hey, who else? Who else is up there? Ashley and Shelby and Nietzsche. Okay. Nietzsche, I think you're going to like what I did to your thing. Yeah, that sounded really weird. Nietzsche gave a report this week, and I will be playing that a little later. And I'm actually pretty happy with what came out, because I took his report and took it to the next level. And I'm not 100% pleased with my results of what I did, but I'm about 75%. That's a C. So I'm happy. It's a high C, middle C. So it's, maybe a low B. Might be a low B. It's pretty good. It's just there were a couple glitches that I could have fixed, but I just ran out of time. So I did the best I could with what I had. And as you can see, we're still at the CDC. We're remaining at the CDC.
You
until
may
this
be there, but I'm at the beach.
Yeah, we're staying at the CDC until we fix this problem, till we come up with an antidote of our own.
Easy. The beach. That's
Well,
where I'm
they
going.
took people away from the beach and said they can't go to the beach. So, okay, so we're there on that. Now let me check here and just see if we're where we're supposed to be. Okay, here is us on, yes, we are on Twitter. That's good. It's pinned, as I like to pin it. Let's see, we got Twitch. We're on Twitch. That's, I like Twitch. Now we go back to my nemesis, and that's YouTube. Let's see if YouTube works. It's not been working lately, so I'm not really pleased with the YouTube stuff, but I'm thinking of going away from YouTube and going and I'm allowed up to so many streams, and I might just switch it over to something else, and I'm looking at our different possibilities. And let me see. Yes, we are streaming on YouTube. Yay!
Woo-hoo, for now.
We had a lot of weird things going on that we weren't able to do it till today, but I see we are there today. All right. And the only other one I didn't look at is Periscope. Let me see here. Heck with it. If it's on Twitter, it's on Periscope. So that should make us back to where we were. It's good to know we're back to where we were at least, because I hate going backwards. I like when we go forwards on all this mess. Anyway, hope you're all doing well. And I want to open up there we go. Got everything here. YouTube sucks with their ads. Well, YouTube doesn't like us, and they just constantly take our videos off, and then eventually 2 years after the play date, they put them back on, and that just defeats the purpose of a current events show to have things 2 years late. So I just want to put up I'm thinking I might have to do something else, because I don't need them. I don't make any money off of them. I just wanted to have a presence on YouTube, and to my disappointment, we're just not going to see eye to eye on things. So I'm just thinking I'm going to probably drop them and before they drop me. And I don't know. I'm trying to decide, because we can use it elsewhere. So before the show started, I was really happy to find my old bass player from Mike Trash and the Barking Rats. We're talking 40 years here. We're talking, a long time ago. He was my second bass player. The first bass player was Wacky Waxman, and the second bass player was John Skiffington. And John Skiffington, he was a great bass player back then. And he was like, I think he was probably 18. And the kid played like, he just is awesome. And I just happened to find him right before the show started, and I sent him a friend request, and he approved me, and I'm just very happy that he approved me.
How much did you bribe him?
I didn't know if he would approve me, because, well, the reason being, that band broke up over me being a jerk. And I know you find it hard to believe that I was a real jerk.
Not really.
But I was a real jerk. Well, I'll tell you the story. Here's the story.
I think I've heard this story.
I don't know. You may. Well, what story have you heard?
I've heard quite a bit in the, almost 20 years that I've known you.
I don't know if you've heard this one.
Okay.
What do you think it is?
That everything had to revolve around you.
No, it had nothing to do with that. It had to do with a Battle of the Bands.
Oh, okay.
Did I ever tell you this one?
You may have.
There's a book over... Oh, no, it's not in that book. I have a book upstairs, probably, that has stuff that we saved way back then, before there was internet to save it
All right, I already don't believe you, because I know you don't like books. Unless they're used to hold up furniture.
This was my photo album of my early days.
Oh, okay.
And anyway, so we were invited to play at this Battle of the Bands. And this Battle of the Bands was held at the, what was the name of I can't think of the name of that club. It was a nightclub on, what was the name of that building, that big building right down the street from where he used to work.
The Stallions?
That's a gay bar.
I know that.
No.
Okay. It's down from the Capitol.
It's down from the Capitol, but it's there was a building down there right on the corner of, what street is that? Markets? That's not Market Street. What is it?
Third?
Third and has all these businesses in it.
Forster?
No, it's the other. You know where the Forum is?
Yes.
That's the street.
Oh.
That street and Third, that corner. There was a nightclub there, and they had a lot of poppy bands there, but anyway, so the key was we were called and asked to perform at this Battle of the Bands. The reason was this one band, the singer got in an auto accident and he couldn't perform. So they needed a band, a last-minute band. Well, they saw our name and they invited us to play. Okay, sounds innocent enough, right? Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds innocent enough. The problem is it isn't innocent enough. They picked a band that sounded like a band that they would definitely lose.
Oh, jeez.
It was Mike Trash and the Barking Rats, okay? So if you didn't know Mike Trash and the Barking Rats, you probably would say, oh, that band's not going to win anything. However, we were decent. We were a decent band, and we played a lot of outside jobs. We played parties and stuff like that. We didn't play as many bars. We played a lot of parties. So we had a pretty good gig going. We played some pretty good rock and roll music. Well, we went into place, and I comes to find that every band in the tournament, every band in the contest was managed by one person except one band. And guess who that one band was?
Yours.
That's exactly right. So, we didn't care. We just wanted to play. That was it. And that club, if they liked us, was a club you'd wanted to play. You wanted to play. There were a couple places you wanted to play. You wanted to play this club, which I can't remember the name of, and the Metron. Those were the two clubs that you wanted to play. They were the highest end clubs in the area.
Okay.
So we got a chance to play this club, and this club was really big. They had a couple stages, and so we got to play this club. And the thing that's cool is we didn't have to have a PA because we did have a PA, but we didn't need to send
personal assistant. Okay.
We didn't have to set up our own stuff.
Okay.
All we had to set up was our guitars and the basics. So we got there, and the sound man was horrible. And the sound man can make or break a band.
Okay.
And they were horrible. They were just beyond horrible. They were the worst band, the worst PA people that I've ever seen. So we went into this with our guns a-blazing, expecting to sound good, and we didn't sound like we should have. Okay. Well, then the band The Rain played, and they did the same thing to them. And I thought, well, clearly we're going to win, because that band was really bad. We lost.
Wow.
And I'd even talked to the judges, and they said, oh, don't worry, you got this in the bag. I went up to one of the judges, I said, what happened? How did we lose? I went up to the owner, I said, what happened? How could we lose to them? And they said, well, they had more potential. I said, yeah, they had more potential because they sucked. And they said, look, don't worry about it. We want to have you back before them. I said, but we lost, and you're going to offer us a chance to play again before the other band that won? What sense is that? They said, well, we liked you more than them. I said, if you liked us more than them, why didn't we win?
This sounds like Trish logic.
I said, why didn't we win? And anyway, so it elevated to a point where I said, no, we're never going to play here ever again. And we never played there ever again. And the band was mad at me for not taking the job and just taking the loss. And we should have taken the job because that would have elevated our band to the next level. But I was stupid and I was obnoxious and I refused to accept that we lost because the other band shouldn't have won. I mean, I'm not saying we were the best band in the world. I was saying we're better than the other band. And so that killed our band.
Oh.
So me being egotistical at that time killed my band. And I learned some lessons from that band. I seriously regret not taking the loss because that band could have been pretty big because we had some, I'm not saying I was as talented, I had some talented people playing for me. And that band could have been big, could have ruled. So I'm very sad about that to this day.
Well, we do have a request.
Why?
Nietzsche says he wants you some night to sing Radio Nowhere by Bruce Springsteen.
I don't even know that song.
I don't either. I've never heard it.
No. Why would I sing Bruce's song?
Well, no. You ask Nietzsche. He's the one that requested
Well,
it.
just ask him. Why would I do that? Anyway, that's the sad story of when I lost my ego, my real ego, because I really learned a lesson from that whole situation, and I should have just shut up and taken the loss and taken the job at that place because everybody wanted to play that club, everybody, but I just let my ego get out of control, and I learned a valuable lesson that night, and I lost my band that night because we broke up over that.
Wow.
So it's really sad because I would have loved to see where that band would have gone. So
yeah, who knows? We probably wouldn't be here now. You'd be off jet streaming around the world.
You would. Well, you wouldn't be here because somebody else would be living here probably. But anyway, it's sad, but it taught me a very, very valuable lesson, and that's the way it is. So anyway, that is my story of, and I'm sticking to it. That's the story I'm sticking to. Anyway, where was I?
There, Nietzsche posted the video for that song in the chat room, so you can look at it later.
All right. I'm glad to see that Nietzsche's here because we've missed him. He's not been present. I've known that he's been around, but I have not been able to. I need to, I have to talk. Well, got to talk to him when this virus thing goes away.
Yes.
And plan my trip. But I don't know. I'm so sick of this virus thing.
We all are.
So, all right. Let's see what we're doing here. I have a lot of stuff to do. I just got to figure out which order I'm going to do it in.
Well, I'd say start with entertainment, but
That's where I was thinking of starting with. Because there actually is interesting news in the entertainment area.
well, we could talk about the movies we saw on Saturday. We just won't have numbers to go with them.
Yeah. That's strange. Strange stuff. Yeah. Saw Trolls. What was the other one?
Nuts! It was one of the new releases. Supposed to be My Spy.
Oh, yeah. That's right. My Spy was pretty cool. I like that.
I was like, wait a minute, it's coming, it's getting there.
Didn't stick with me the way I thought it would. Yeah. Those movies were okay. Trolls were a lot more interesting than I thought they were going to be. But why is it that the rock band was the bad guy? That's what I want to know.
Because heavy metal is like
It rules.
I know it rules,
Okay.
but they see that as
shouldn't. Who's
the
they?
punk
Why should they think that? But punk has
society in general.
Punk is not heavy metal,
I
And,
know.
Boy, they must have paid a lot of money in royalties for that movie, too, because they did a lot of cover tunes.
But I like Tiny Diamond. He was my favorite.
It was funny. But, yeah, it was an interesting movie. I think I liked that more than I thought I was going to like it, because I'm not really into the trolls, but...
Well, I'm not either, but it was cute.
Pinky Swear? We had two
Pinky
movies.
Promise.
2 movies with pinkies in it.
Pinky Promise.
The other one was a Pinky Swear.
Yeah, but we didn't know that when we were deciding what to watch.
So that was okay. They were okay. I liked the Batista one. That was fun.
Oh, yeah.
And but you know, it really is weird not going to the movies, and it's kind of strange that we have to watch the stuff. I mean, you know, the thing is, the one thing that is good about this is that this is going to force.
What?
This is going to force the theaters to allow streaming at home,
Right.
and that's something that I'm not totally against. It's something that would be nice to do the new releases at home, because I probably would consider that.
Well, I can tell you one other thing that I like about this virus. That it's being generous to my gas tank. It's forcing the gas prices to drop where I don't spend $30 to fill up, that I can fill my car up from an almost empty tank and not even break $20.
Well, we'll talk about. I got a story about that later in the show, so we'll talk about that.
Your dog's asking for another one.
I know he is. He's a pain in the butt. He's spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, let's get rolling. How would you like? This, not fired. Someone logged in, and I had reset the password. Oh, he thinks he set the password to something, but he doesn't seem to know that to be the case.
What?
I guess I could actually. Well, it's good to know I wasn't fired. I was concerned about that, because all of a sudden we couldn't log in. Let's find out if we can at this point. All right, so let's see which will be this one here. All right, so I'll look at this and see if we can
Yes?
log in.
May I help you?
All right, now.
Are you mad because you don't have a headset?
He says that the new password, I'm doing this on the fly, sorry about that, but the new password is...
What? Hey, I thought you were a cool puppy.
Question is,
I know. Where's your football? Where's your football?
let's see if it works.
Where's your ball? Where's your ball?
Let's see
Go
if
get
it
your ball.
works. Invalid password. He's incorrect on the password.
Or did you misspell it?
I don't know. Oh, that's up there. That's... I may have messed up the...
Oh, you know, he knows you're there.
I may have messed up the statistics.
Really, puppy?
Let's see if it works. I hope I did that right this time. Login yet? Invalid. Well, I'm sorry. I can't figure this out. Too many zeros.
What? Where is your football? What'd you do with it?
Too many
Huh?
zeros in.
Where's your football?
This sucks. Well, I guess we're not going to get them today because I don't want to spend all my time trying to figure out if we're logging in or not. Let's see if they maybe had too many zeros. Nope. I don't know. I have to figure it out. Anyway, he gave me the wrong password. Or else I just did it in wrong. Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
Shush, dog.
This is the most
Get over
active
here.
he's
Get over
been
here.
for a while.
Get over here. Get over here. My
I
dog
can't move anymore.
is very unhappy. He doesn't want to.
I can't go anymore. I'm right at the corner, buddy. You know, there's this thing called 6 feet, and we only have 4 between us.
There we go. I'll keep him happy for a couple
2 minutes.
All right. Anyway. All right. Here is interesting stuff. Lady Gaga applauds Taylor Swift's vulnerable performance of Soon You'll Get Better. So I guess, little by little, everybody's trying to do things to keep everybody's spirits high. And it's really a strange thing because never in my life have I ever seen us locked down for so long. Actually, I've never seen us locked down, not as a country or as
Right.
a world. Actually, I've talked to people in other countries that are just they're just unable to do anything either, and it's so weird to think about our country standing still. I guess I gotta change the screen, huh? All right. There it is. And there we are. Okay. So, Taylor Swift on One World Together at Home. Taylor Swift's poignant live debut of Soon You'll Get Better on One World Together at Home even moved Lady Gaga. And it says here who curated the All-Star Benefit concert lineup. So all these people putting on these benefits from their house. Mm-hmm. It's really weird to think, like last week, Saturday Night Live did everything from everybody's house.
Right.
First off, it was the worst show ever. I gotta say, it just was horrible. It was just, I applaud the effort, but it just didn't connect for me. I saw the Tom Hanks intro, just didn't connect. There's something, again, it's maybe the live audience, maybe there's something missing about that show, and it just didn't seem
You
like...
mean besides you?
No, I couldn't have done any better either. I just look at it like I'm watching these people, and they're trying their best, but it just is falling flat. They did a thing on Zoom, everybody connecting via Zoom, and it just really just fell flat on its face. It just was horrible. And the only thing I thought was actually funny is the news segment where they have a white guy and a black guy on the as the head of the news.
Right.
And the white guy writes the black guy's lines, and the black guy writes the white guy's
Sounds
lines.
like an episode of Impractical Jokers.
Well, yes, because the black guy always gets the white guy in trouble with some of the things he says. Because you got to read it the way he wrote it. So, but anyway, so everybody's doing these concerts and stuff like that, and these entertainment things, and these things from home, and just shh, you'll get your turn. Get over here. Get over here. Come on. Everybody, is doing their entertainment from home, like the Amish comic is doing regular shows from his living room and stuff like that. And even that, it needs an audience. Hi, Jen. These things need an audience to be good. Because, the comics, they're like the wrestlers. They feed off the audience.
Right.
And so if you don't know if anybody's laughing or if anybody's entertained, it really makes a difference as to the performance. So it's really a strange thing. But anyway, Lady Gaga shared her reaction to Taylor Swift's performance while watching the televised special along with fans on Instagram Live April 18th. This is so beautiful, Taylor, she said. Thank you for sharing this vulnerable moment with us. You're really, really even so much braver in this moment. And you're still beautiful to me. Oh, she didn't. Lady Gaga didn't say that. I did. Taylor Swift I'll tell you, she doesn't have to do any of this stuff. She's got more than enough money.
Right.
And I saw a show called At Home with the Morgans. It was Jeffrey Dean Morgan's family, along with three other families, and it just was that was a nice little show. I don't know how they're going to do it for week after week. The first week is usually, that's what everybody watches it to see what it is. I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and he also had on Christina from Walking Dead, and I don't know who the other people were, but it was just interesting. But the question is, can it sustain week after week? What are they going to do to make it interesting next week? Because you can't do the same thing every week. Ken and I are talking about possibly doing something one week, just setting up and playing. And we may do that. I mean, we're going to change our light show around. Well, we want to test our light show, and when we do it, we could just set up the cameras and just do it for everybody, and just.
Well, I think you should.
So we might. We'll see. But I mean, everybody's trying to figure out what to do to get everybody's mind off of what's going on, and it scares me that this is what our life has become lately. But we got to do what we got to do so that more people don't die. I mean, 42,000 people have died. 42,000 people. That's just unbelievable.
Well, I was talking to...
I remember when this first happened, I thought, no, this isn't going to be anything.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to a lady yesterday while I was doing my laundry, and she said what's really scary now is 2 of her cousins are both pregnant, and they're due to deliver within the next couple of months. Here, they're going to have to go into the hospital, deliver by themselves.
Wow.
Now, I think there is a possibility that the the partner, the spouse or whatever, may be the only one allowed in.
It's so weird. It's really strange to think about this. And everybody wants it over, and yet if we do it too soon, we risk it firing up again.
I heard there was a second round coming, and it's worse than the first.
I don't know if it can.
I don't know. I don't know how much worse it could get.
Well, as long as numbers keep going down, I think we're good. But, I mean, all it takes is one idiot to go out and be infected and share it with everybody else.
That's true. I mean, we're all supposed to share and get along, but we don't need to share everything.
Believe me, I don't want to share everything because there was just too... If this is what I had in January, which I think it is, it's not a pleasant thing. I was so freaking sick in January.
I remember.
And I just couldn't understand it. It was just, I was so cold and so warm, and I just wanted to die. I mean, it was so bad. But nobody really, at that point, nobody knew about this thing.
But, okay, you were down for what, a week?
Something like that.
And look how long these people were down. They're down for 2 weeks or more.
Think about this. You're talking to me.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, seriously, I don't get sick.
I know you don't.
So for me to be down for a week, that's something. That knocked me for a loop, and that did really knock me for a loop. And seriously, I was still sick for the next week. I just wasn't as bad. I was like, my throat and everything was messed up for at least a couple weeks. So, it's just really, if I didn't have it, I'd hate to think it could be worse than that.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, viewers were surprised by Swift's song choice. As long before the coronavirus hit, she indicated that she had no plans to perform the personal lover ballad publicly. I don't know if I'll play it live, she said, upon release in August. It's really difficult for me. It's hard to write. It's hard. I can totally understand that. I mean, some of the stuff I've written, it's really tough to do songs that are that personal. And I've had songs that are really personal that I've done that I just didn't know how I could get through them. But fortunately, I've been able to get through them. So Yeah, I think I think a lot about the performance end of that, and a lot of my songs are that personal, so totally can get it. And I'm not going to play it because I don't want YouTube coming down on me as they usually do. So calm down. I'll take it. Anyway, so that was Taylor Swift's big thing. And the next thing, One World Together at Home, Lockdown, Stars Lift the Spirit, according to The Guardian. And so we had a whole bunch of stars that performed on that. And I found that interesting. I also found it interesting that ABC, NBC, and CBS all had one show together.
Oh, wow.
When did that ever happen? Jimmy Kimmel, who's his rival?
Nuts.
No,
See, I don't watch the late night stuff.
Those three competitors were on the same channel at the same time, promoting their or doing a show about this whole virus thing.
Wow.
So, yeah, I never thought I'd see those big three actually acting together. So, and here, how about Elton John? He did a thing too. I don't know if you know that or not, but Elton John did a performance. So, I mean, lots of people out there entertaining, and lots of TV to be had because what else can we do? We're stuck at home, and so anyway, there was a Broadway star named Nick Cordero. Do you know who he is?
Yes.
Did you hear about him?
Yes.
That sucks big time. Broadway star Nick Cordero has right leg amputated due to complications from the coronavirus. Man, I don't even know what to think about that. It says here that as of Saturday, the Tony-nominated performer has been sedated in the ICU for 18 days. We've had some difficult news yesterday. Basically, we've had issues with his right leg with clotting and getting blood down to his toes. You know, it's good that Pam isn't alive for this, because this would have
killed her.
This would have been it. There wouldn't have been any more than this, because she had a low
immune system.
So she would have been definitely one that would have gotten it. But it's just weird to think about the poor guy, man. As if it's not bad enough to get the coronavirus. You know, you go and have to lose your leg over it. But at least it didn't cost him an arm.
Yet.
Because then
an arm and a leg, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I shouldn't be making light of his woes. Got to make sure I send this to everyone that wants to. I don't have a link.
And yes, Nietzsche, you are right. We lost a great actor in Brian Dennehy, too.
Yeah, I didn't get to that. Oh, shoot, I didn't write him down. Yeah, his wasn't from the coronavirus, but it was, he was like 91 or 81, something like that. He was up there. He was, I think they specifically said it wasn't the coronavirus, though. Let's see here.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's funny how they make sure you know.
He was 81.
Okay. I couldn't remember and you know they named a lot of his movies, but the one they didn't name that I thought that they should have named
was
Cocktail.
Oh.
The Johnny Cruise, Tony Cruise, Cruise, Tom Cruise movie.
Oh.
He was one of the main guys in that. I love that movie. I watched that movie a couple times when I was a kid. So, yeah, I think he was the main guy in that. So, really kind of funny.
Well, Nietzsche said he was from his town. So.
Oh, yeah, I guess he was. Up in that area. Yeah, I was actually going to do something with that, and I didn't think to do that. All right, so we got that. I can get rid of this.
You know, I've seen some obituaries where like in the local newspapers where people are putting in about the virus. And, you know, I was sitting there thinking the other day of how would I feel 30, 40 years ago, you know, from now. If I'm sitting there and I'm reading an obituary.
30 or 40 years. Okay, it's straight 30. It's that 30-year age.
Just remember, you're older.
I don't expect to be around that long, sorry.
But I'm saying, if you're sitting there and you're reading something and you read about this virus and then think, what in the world?
I don't expect to be reading at that age. I don't expect, if I'm alive at that age, I plan on being one of those guys that is in my own little world.
Well, that's where you are now.
But, yeah, I don't really think that that would be, I don't even want to.
I mean, that would be so weird. You know, because I got to thinking, like, if I would read my dad's obituary, that if it had it in there, being like, what is this? And then knowing that my grandchildren and the great-grandchildren to be, okay, I didn't say that out loud, but, you know, they have to learn about all this when they're in school, because this is part of history.
Yeah, but that'll be second nature to them, because for us, it's never happened.
Right.
For them, it has, because by now to them, it's not like they've lived 50 years and never had
It's like what
something
we
this.
thought when the Depression was happening.
Maybe, yeah.
You know, because I wouldn't know what the Depression was, but then when I talked to my grandparents, and it's like they had to relive it again to tell me what it was like for them.
Maybe. Yeah. Anyway, Elton John live streams performance of I'm Still Standing from his backyard. Hey, he looks pretty good for a man his age.
Yeah.
73-year-old.
Wow.
He looks pretty good for 73. It says here, while the corona pandemic has forced most of us in our homes, healthcare workers are still standing in front of lines battling the crisis. So pop star Elton John honored them with a special performance during the One World Together at Home concert Saturday. So, yeah, I know that I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I'm going to play a little bit. Wait a minute, what's this? Oh, Beckham.
Our support to the global community all coming together at this difficult time for our world. If there's any silver lining to come of this situation, it's meant lots of time together as a family, and for this we are grateful. We know there are people out there who are risking everything to keep us all safe. We want to join with all of you to say a huge thank you to them.
That's a good song for them to do.
To protect us.
Hold on. Here we go.
Still dead, better than I ever did. Looking like a truth alive.
Okay, he's got a basketball hoop in his yard. Who do you think's playing that? Because that's not him. Not a 73-year-old man.
You'd be surprised.
Although his husband is like a lot younger than him. But his husband's probably 50-ish.
Still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's see, he's 73, and David is 57.
Yeah. So I doubt either of them are playing basketball. Although they could be playing with balls.
It
They're not
could
gonna
be the
basketballs.
children.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. How many kids they got? Yeah, that's right. They do have kids.
2.
Okay, that makes sense then. Okay. I don't like the way he's singing that. It sounds like he's a little.
He doesn't have a full band behind him.
Yeah, but he's.
God bless you. Thank you.
And you know, as a musician, you never do it the same way twice.
Yeah, but the way he said it, it sounded like it.
If you're recording it and releasing it, it's always different when you play it live. You should know that better than anybody.
Are you speaking from experience or what?
Yes.
I did post that, didn't I? I don't think if that's one I posted.
Yes, I think
okay,
you did.
There it is. Okay, good.
Hi, Caroline.
Okay, so what's it say? Oh, okay. I gotta tell us. I wasn't fired from the mix, so that's the important thing.
Good.
Just I'm unemployed for this week apparently because I can't get on. I'm taking a
Hey,
vacation
you
day.
can file for unemployment.
I'm taking a vacation day from the mix. So I'll have to get a hold of him after the show and figure out why the password's not working. Unless he gave me the wrong password because he said he thinks it's this. Okay, so AMC, we talked about them filing for bankruptcy. And sadly, they're still in bad shape, but it says AMC offers early details about reopening plan. So it looks like they are going to try to reopen. And
I can't wait. I need to get back to normal.
it's so weird to think of. I mean, I can handle watching movies at home. I mean, I got the screen, the big screen, and I got the projector, and we sit there and we watch it. And it's like being in the movies, but it's not like being in the movies. It is, but it isn't.
No, because there's no popcorn.
Well, we could. We have a popcorn. I have a popcorn maker, and there's no people talking or shining their
phone.
Well, there is someone shining their phone. So,
Not during a movie. Unless my phone's laying on the couch.
I believe you were using it while we were watching a movie.
I don't remember.
But anyway, that's a good thing because I really wanted to. I didn't want to lose AMC. I don't want to lose the movie theaters because I mean I can watch the movies at home. We have a decent. I mean when I get done with the house, we're going to have a really nice setup. Buddy and me, are going to have a really nice setup. Well,
Fine.
You're not going to have a nice setup.
This is like my second home.
I'm going to have to charge admission once this is all over.
Hey, I have my cap ready for tomorrow, so
Your bat?
don't even go there.
Your bat?
Yeah.
What cap? Oh, the admission.
This one.
Yes, I understand. Are you going to hand it to me again?
Probably.
Look, here's your caps. Anyway, so that's that. It's good to know that they're going to be back. It says here, AMC's shares jumped 37% as the company announced it would have a $300 million debt sale. So they're going to sell off some of their assets. The White House announced Thursday a plan to reopen U.S. businesses, including movie theaters. AMC closed its doors in March due to the coronavirus pandemic, and after first limiting how many people could sit in a theater at a time. And if they had done that plan, they would have probably lost a lot of money, because the way it works is you got to have first off, when a movie opens, the money that they make is off of the concessions for the first week, pretty much. I mean, they make such a small percentage. The studio ends up getting like 90% the first week, or even some places get 100%, like with Star Wars and all that. They got all the proceeds off the sales. They didn't get anything off the concessions. But if you had a movie like, let's say, the Batista movie, and the studios got 100% of that, all they would have is their concessions, and you think about that. How much does it cost them every month in rent, electricity, and all that stuff? That wouldn't even offset it if you had to limit it to like 50 people to the theater or whatever it is.
But okay, think about this. If they do start offering where you can stream these movies at home,
that I would love that more than anything.
But wouldn't that, I mean, that may increase sales as far as being at home, but they wouldn't have the concessions. They wouldn't be able to have the building.
Okay, so in that case, yes, that kind of thing.
So they'd kind of be where we are now.
Yeah, I think that they would probably, well, you got to understand something. If they were streaming at home, they wouldn't do it for $10 a movie. They would charge you at least $20 a movie, because they recognize that chances are your family's going to be there too.
Right.
So, I don't know, but it opens the door, and what would happen in that case would be something like, let's say, I can't think of a theater's name, the studio's name right now. Sony. Okay. Let's say Trolls. Trolls were going to stream at home. They would probably do it themselves. Sony would probably do it themselves. They would probably you would probably log on to Sony's website, not AMC's.
Well, let's see.
Well, I mean, I'm saying if they were to do it on a regular basis, they would cut out the middleman. They would do it so that, like Disney. Disney would probably do it through Disney Plus.
Okay, let's pick out one here. Okay, they're doing Sonic.
Understood, but Sonic's a couple weeks old, or a couple months old now. Actually, Sonic is from last year.
No, it just came out in February.
Okay, February still is in movie terms, is years old. So
it doesn't say how much it costs.
I'm telling you, it's $20.
Okay, I mean, and I see all these movies that AMC has on their app, and
well, depending on what age the movie is. If the movie is several months old, if it's a new release, it's going to be $20 minimum.
Okay, here's Birds of Prey.
Well, that's old. That's old now.
I don't see it where it says.
Oh, you got to go on their website and you probably see it better. But in any case, I know it's going to be $20 as I looked at some of them because I was looking at.
So you wait until the DVD's in the 5 and under bin.
Well, the point is, people like me wants to see it when it's new.
Well, of course.
So anyway, it says here the company shut all 630 locations with 11,000 screens going dark, and it says Adam Aaron, who is the CEO, said in the statement, "We're ever so disappointed for our movie-going guests and our employee teams that the new CDC guidelines that Americans cannot gather in groups larger than 10." So the thing is, they really had to do it. I mean, basically, it's not like there was a big choice in this. The government made us all stay home.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they did what was right, but it's scary thinking about that the country has been shut down. And
they tell you to stay home, but yet you have the essential ones that have to go out.
Yes. But you think about this. This went from the country being at the best unemployment to the worst unemployment in history.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a scary thing. So the question is, will Donald Trump go down as someone who saved the country or not?
I don't know.
I mean, because his term has had both the best unemployment and the worst unemployment in the same year. It's really weird to think about. It says, yeah, it's kind of weird to think about everyone being at home, and all of our lives we've fantasized about taking a month off.
Yeah, I know.
But when it actually happened, everybody was afraid to do anything, even because if they had money, they'd be afraid of it because they don't know if they're going to have money. And
what I was seeing on Facebook is that a lot of people who are now unemployed, they're able to file for unemployment. They're getting more for their unemployment than those of us who are working.
I think I probably should file.
Yeah, you should.
But I won't because I'm not like that.
Oh, okay.
No, seriously, I believe that we'll get into that. There's something I want to talk about. It's coming up. Actually, I might skip to it. But anyway, yeah, I mean, the thing is, I don't feel that, I think that there is, I probably could apply for it, but I don't feel that I'm in a position where I need to.
Okay.
I think I'm okay. So I don't really want to take some money away from another person who really does need it. I was talking to a guy from Morocco, and he said, I want to kill myself. And I said, well, why? He said, because I think it's the best thing for my family. And he said, my kids and everything are starving. I said, well, I think rather than kill yourself, I'd get a fishing rod and I would go catch some fish before I'd kill myself and screw my kids up for life. I would do something that would be showing the kids not to give up.
Right.
You don't kill yourself because you can't feed your kids. You find a way to feed your kids, even if it means going out to the river and catching fish and cutting them up and cooking them. In my eyes, I mean, that's what I would do.
Well, I know Natasha and I had this discussion the other day.
Fish?
No, like she's down to, if she's lucky, 3 hours a week because
that's scary.
all the businesses that she was cleaning, they're all closed.
Hi, Melanie.
And
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I want to talk. Yeah, Melanie is a nurse.
Yeah.
So she is an essential employee, and she has to go into the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
She has to talk to patients. That's a scary thing. I mean, not that the patients are scary, but the fact that you don't know what you're stepping into because someone might have the virus, might
that's
not.
the hazard of the job.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially now, though. But I mean, under normal circumstances, that would be the hazard of the job. But now, as extraordinary as it is, it's even worse now because you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who has it. You don't know who's got it and it hasn't flared up. You don't know
True.
who's got it and it's starting to flare down. And I could never do a nurse or doctor type. I couldn't do a dentist thing either. Like
You can't even play one on TV.
I don't want to go near sick people. I mean, I had enough with Pam being sick. And even before that, I really admire doctors and people in healthcare.
Well, thank you.
Because it just, I am terrified of being sick. Because my mother was a hypochondriac. And she was always sick. And I don't want to be like that. And that's one thing, as a child, I made an early observation and decided I wasn't going to be sick. If it killed me, I wasn't going to be sick.
Okay.
If it killed me, I wouldn't be sick. I'd be dead. But
exactly.
It just kind of it's one of those things that my older brother was like that too. We were both adamant about not getting ill or sick or whatever, and we recognized that she was a hypochondriac. I don't know if the younger two did. I know that the older two did. So.
And you have these people that, they do have the bad immune systems and they seem to catch everything, and, they could have something that's not this virus related. It could be another health issue, but yet because of this, they're afraid to go get checked out.
I do want to back this up a little bit. You are in a different situation than Melanie is, where she is actually seeing patients. You work at the hospital.
Yeah.
You don't see patients.
No.
It's not that hey, both of you, my thumbs up to you guys. I wouldn't want either job. I don't want to be around sick people.
My job is to pay the bills that they
That's
get
right.
the stuff that they need to treat the patients.
I agree, like masks.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you giving me one.
You're welcome.
I wish I would have had those ones I used many years ago when I did this gimmick where we showed up at the job wearing these masks. I don't remember what the sickness was at the time, but it was a sickness that was floating around, and I showed up with a mask on, and I was just trying to be a jerk, and I was pretty much a jerk. I mean, I think they were paint masks that I used then, but
Actually, when all this first started coming out, where they were saying that we should be wearing masks, that was right when my dad died.
Mm-hmm.
And I went into
I remember
Walmart
that.
up there, and that was, if I couldn't find the medical masks, that's the next thing I was looking for. Something.
Yeah.
To say, look, I can't find anything. I even looked for this. But luckily, I had somebody come through for me, give me a whole box.
I bought a box of them, so they're coming. I don't know when I'll get them, but I bought them from one of the resellers on Walmart. So it's whenever they ship them. Well, they're from Delaware, so
yeah,
I should get them fairly quickly.
probably by the end of the week.
Yeah, I'd like to have them. And my doctor's appointment, I have 2 doctor's appointments next week. They said they want me to wear one, so
You're covered.
yeah, that's good. But I never in my wildest dreams ever thought that we would be in a situation like that. This is something like a movie. This is like a movie because, it's something we would have never dreamed of.
Now, I did hear something on the radio, which...
I listen to the radio. They have all kinds of things. Music is on there. Howard Stern's on there.
Buddy,
We're even
you
on there.
want to handle my light work here?
So, anyway, go ahead.
But think about it. Once this is over,
I'll be glad when it's over.
yes, but we may still have to wear those masks because we're so used to them. You know, some people may see it as a fashion trend.
Well,
I can't stand them.
I actually think it's going to be a while before they would suggest us not wearing them because of whatever's going to happen next. I don't know what's going to happen next, but I really think this isn't going to be a couple month thing. This is going to be it's going to be a while.
Because I know, like, I have to wear one into work, and then I have one specifically at work for when I'm there, and then when I leave, I put the one I wore in to go back out. Only because of the surroundings.
Right.
And the fact that I get claustrophobic. So
You
the
said
quicker I can get it off, the better I am.
You said something about yours being cloth too.
Yes, I am getting some cloth ones when I go in Thursday.
That's awesome because it'd be nice to be able to just throw them in laundry, and you could make them smell good too because you could put your fabric softener and stuff in them.
And I could make my own, but I'm not that talented. You know.
Well, we have videos on how to do it.
Yeah, you know, cut a no-show saw, cut the ends off. Sure, why not? Put a coffee filter in.
This is like a movie, like a movie of, a science fiction movie, except it's real. It's really bizarre. Anyway, so that's AMC. So we will see them open up as soon as they get the go-ahead. And certainly that will...
You know, it's weird because here I am so used to making sure my money's there for my membership, and now it's...
Well, you're not being charged, though.
That's true.
Actually, when will they be open? According to the... says reopening plan, and it doesn't... Oh, that's the same article, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Dummy. Oh, man. Let's try this again. There's another one. Oh, here it is. The shares skyrocket on plans to offer $500 million in new debt to help it withstand the prolonged closures. They're like the second largest movie theater chain in the world. Now, we haven't heard anything from Regal. Now, Regal is the largest.
Right.
I haven't heard anything about them having money issues, but I'm sure that they're not, they're hurting too. And the thing that scares me is that people are in, hey there, Kevin, haven't talked to you in a long time. People are, living paycheck to paycheck.
Now they don't have
it. When was the last time you got you still got the paycheck, but a lot of people aren't getting paychecks now.
That's why the unemployment rate went sky high, and people are having trouble filing because, first of all, there's nobody in the office to answer the phone calls because we're all supposed to stay at home.
Right.
And if you have people, and because there's so many, there's everybody filing.
Right.
Oh, trust me, I've heard that grumble.
It's scary. It is scary. That's why I said, I don't want to take advantage of the system. I want to make sure that other people, the money is there for them. Because I'm fine. I've got investments. Now, granted, my investments took a really major hit. And it scares me a little bit because, I really didn't anticipate this thing, as no one did. And so my money is definitely not in as good a shape as I thought. But mine's going to rebound.
Well, the thing is we take this and we learn from it. We've all had to make those quick, unexpected adjustments.
Right.
So now it'd be like, okay, what was the best thing that we did that worked for us?
Right.
And say, okay, if it happens again, we're just going to start right there. I hope it doesn't happen again. Don't get me wrong.
But what scares me is these viruses are stronger and stronger every time they come out.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I'm really surprised this didn't happen before because of that. But it shut the world down. And all it takes is one of the countries to let a couple people out.
Hey, why not? They're going to let a lot of prisoners out if they didn't already.
I saw that. But they weren't really serious prisoners. They weren't baby killers and things like that. They were more basic.
Ones that
stuff.
were nearing their term anyway.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Let's see here. Did I do that? I did that. Okay, I did that. Really kind of interesting stuff is that a different side of people are coming out. You're seeing people being more generous than before. You're seeing people do things for people that you wouldn't have seen before. You know who Kevin Smith is, right?
No.
Well, you do, but you don't. Kevin Smith is he owns a comic book store, but he's known for things like Jay and Silent
him.
Bob.
Okay.
Well, Kevin Smith, his comic store is paying off every customer's bill.
Wow.
I think it's really cool. It says here, director and podcaster Kevin Smith paid off the entire balance on pending pull lists for his customers at the Secret Stash. You know, he doesn't have to do that.
No, I actually heard, who was it? Was it Kim Kardashian, I believe. She was outside of Sam's Club or some store where she was giving out money.
Wow.
For, just for an hour.
Still.
But she was out there doing it. Some people are like that. Some people are out helping.
As much as I want to hate on her.
To give food away, that kind of stuff.
As much as I want to hate on her, I can't. I can't hate her.
Not when it's like that.
This is something that she doesn't have to do, that she's doing. And it's really a strange thing to see people like that doing it. It says here it's currently a tough time for both comic book shop owners and customers, but Kevin Smith made things a little easier for his customers at the Secret Stash. Smith made an incredible gesture at his comic book shop as he revealed he paid the outstanding balance of all of his customers. He's known for Clerks, he's known for Chasing Amy, Mallrats, and Yoga Hosers.
I remember him from Tanked.
Says Yoga Hosers and the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, as well as a handful of podcasts, including Batman Beyond, SS Modcast, and Hollywood Babble On. He has his comic book shop, I think, is in New Jersey.
Oh, nice.
Because I kind of remember that one of my exes went to his place because her son was really into him. And I would love to meet him. I mean, I think he's one of those guys that... There's a lot of people in Hollywood that don't make it to the top, and he didn't make it to the top, but he made a splash.
Yeah, because he got a new fish tank.
Well, even that, yeah.
That's where I remember
But he's
from.
just like a regular guy.
Yeah.
And, that's one thing about the Kardashian girl, that, she's not one of the guys. She's not...
When you say Kim Kardashian, everybody's just
right.
like...
But she showed that she actually cares about other people, and she's not a stuck-up snob like she's portrayed.
Well, she might be, but she got her name out there.
But if she did, she doesn't need to do that.
I know.
She did something really nice for other people that she didn't have to do. Because who cares if someone thinks you're an egotistical rock and roll star or something,
Ironically, you say that.
I didn't mean me, just anybody that you might be thinking.
No, I mean, I have seen that because, even just locally, I've seen a lot where people are giving more. I've seen this one group that I'm part of on Facebook. There's people saying, if you need anything, if you need food, I don't want you to go hungry, call me.
I need a trackball because it just fell out of my thing.
Or I've seen plenty of places like food banks and food pantries opening up more to give more. What did you do?
I lost the trackball.
Well, I know that.
It fell out of my hand. It's somewhere under my chair, I think. It's the red ball.
Well, I know it. I can't see it because...
I'll lose my... I'm going to be out of the picture a minute. There it is.
Wouldn't be the first time. Oh, there it is. Buddy's holding it.
Yeah, my dog.
More people are giving more of themselves for what they can, or making sure that other people have. I mean,
it shows the good in people.
That it's there. We just need more of it.
Right. So, I found that interesting. I mentioned Tom Brady going to Florida. He was thrown out of the park.
Oh, gee.
A Tampa recreation worker. He was thrown out of the park because nobody was supposed to be in the park, and he was in the park. And not only was he in the park, but Tom Brady, people want to be around him. So,
but if he was the only one in the park, then he was doing his part on doing the social distancing.
I think he was probably not the only one in the park because he was in the park. Everybody else was in the park too. To get
if
near
somebody
him.
got the picture, then he wasn't.
And actually, that brings up another story that I don't have with me because it just happened, and I'm going to see if I can find. What?
Whatever your story is.
The story has to do with Tom Brady. Let me see if I can. I spelled it wrong.
T-O-M.
The other, nope. The other story is that Tom Brady had, oh, come on, I can't seem to spell for anything. Anyway, Ron Gronkowski. Do you know who he is?
No.
Well, ever hear of the Gronk?
Okay, I was going to say the name sounds familiar.
Him and Tom Brady were close, but he retired. But he's coming out of retirement to play with Tom Brady.
Wow.
So here we go. We talked about something really kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Says here, Ron Gronkowski is going to the Buccaneers, which is where Tom Brady is.
Interesting.
It says former Patriots tight end Ron Gronkowski is coming out of retirement, but will not be suiting up for the New England next season. Instead, he was traded Tuesday afternoon to the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers, I'm telling you something. Buccaneers have a good team going right here because if the Buccaneers end up winning this year, Tom Brady's stock is going through the roof, and Ron Gronkowski's stock will go through the roof too, because everybody says, "Oh, if he wasn't up in New England, it would be interesting to see what happens." Because I really want to see this now. I'm not a football fan, and I'm interested in this. So I really want to see if his move to Florida pays off for him. Because with him and Gronkowski up there or down there.
Okay, now wait a minute. You said that you're interested in this, but you're not a football fan.
No.
Do you have Tom Brady stock?
I would take Tom Brady stock because I am a big fan of Tom Brady because he is without a doubt.
Well, you said your stock took a hit, so I thought maybe that was the reason why.
If that was, oh man, I'm telling you, my stock took a. You don't want to know how much money I lost. Let's just say I lost more money than you make in a couple years.
Oh.
So I lost at least $10.
Well, I'll give you some of my zeros back if that'll help.
Or maybe some of those caps to your tea.
I'm working on it. I can only drink so much in a day.
Yeah. But anyway, that's a pretty big story because everybody is interested to see what happens. Now, Florida has never really been successful in the football arena because it's all about the money, you know. And the fact of the matter is that Florida is a smaller team, money wise. They don't have the big bucks that the Patriots have. So if they pull off a win, man, that would just be awesome. That would be such a. I couldn't imagine. He'd be on cloud nine because he had taken another team to the Super Bowl.
Do you think we will have a football season this year because of this?
I do.
Okay.
I want to see this world moving again. I don't want to see any more audience-less WrestleManias. I don't want to see any more. I mean, I can't tolerate that the fact that all these events have no audiences because you need audiences for sporting events. You need audiences for comedies. You need audiences, and that's just. This is going to be the worst year for entertainment because of this whole situation. Bands can't have tours right now either. How horrible is that to be a band and not be able to tour? Because you make your money off the tours. You don't make your money off the album. I can tell you, I'm not making money off tours. I'm not making money off albums either. So, right now, I guess our job in August is gone.
I'm waiting on confirmation on that.
If they cancel the Grange Fair, that's a major thing.
Yeah,
Because, means I don't get to play this year, first off.
I know. I did send an email to them. I want confirmation.
I mean, all businesses are affected by this, and it's really a shame to think that everybody, our country is shut down. So, anyway, all right, so that's Tom Brady. Our, okay. Oh, I thought you'd like this. I got this article specially for you.
Oh, gee, thanks.
It's the real way to play Monopoly.
Everything in life is a negotiation.
So I
When
thought
you
you'd
cross
like
the
this
street
because
is a negotiation. Getting your coffee at Starbucks.
Because we played Monopoly and we played it our way.
Yep.
Okay,
It's the
so
only way that
when did you
matters.
play Monopoly?
Okay, here we go.
I have not played Monopoly, I think, since I was like 10. So now I play it when I'm at my parents' house, if there's a big family gathering. I don't ever play Monopoly.
Basically, you played Monopoly when you were a kid or when you were stuck inside.
We definitely played
so
as a
I
kid,
talked to somebody
when I was
who
a
played
kid.
Monopoly in a ballroom in the Venetian Hotel.
Check this out. So they had it at the Venetian Hotel in the ballroom. They had World Championship Monopoly.
Oh,
I think it's awesome.
yeah.
But
I mean, it would. Well, considering only part of it's in English, I'd have trouble playing.
I would imagine that all of it is in English overall because they have to make it universal as they can because they're having people from all over the world playing it. So, anyway.
Macau.
I'm Brian Valentine. I was the United States representative to the Monopoly World Championships in 2015, where I finished third amongst the 28 competitors.
So he finished
He
third.
taught me all the right ways to play Monopoly and even make the game a little shorter. All the rules, odds, and strategies that can actually help you win.
Okay, first question.
This is a Monopoly board from Target. But I took it with me to Macau and asked all the players to sign it for me, just as a keepsake. I'm almost getting into sports cliches talking about Monopoly, but like it was very humble and we made it that far against players who are the best in their country.
From
and
USA,
who are fantastic
Italy, Norway, all over the world.
people.
And this Monopoly genius, he knows
Okay, here we go. This is the quiz.
heat maps and housing arbitrage and strategy, but he just wants you to follow the rules. Okay, so what happens on free parking?
Okay, what happens on free parking?
Nothing.
The correct answer to free parking.
Nothing.
Nothing happens at all?
Right.
Okay.
Do you like collect money from people?
There's no money under free parking. I guess that's the biggest. You don't put money under free parking. People see it as a chance to kind of equalize the game that's stacked against them. If you keep putting money back in the game, it stops the progress.
People don't play the game by the rules. If it did, it actually wouldn't take quite so long. Do you auction stuff off?
Okay. Auctioning
Yes.
stuff off. You do auction things off? Okay.
You're supposed to.
All right, let's find out.
I remember reading it on the back of the card, but I don't remember. I remember that always feeling a little over my head in terms of play.
If you land on it, you don't want it. It's got to go up for auction on the spot. Somebody can buy it. You can start the bidding at $1. I've seen it happen, and I've seen someone take Boardwalk for $20.
I didn't know that, by the way, that you were supposed to auction it off.
Supposed to.
But I've never had that problem because most of the time when I play, we buy whatever we can get our hands on.
Once you have the rules in order, you've got to go to the strategy. What is the best spot in Monopoly?
Oh, I mean,
Okay, do you know what the best spot is?
Right around the corner, where it's the go to jail. It's the one right before the boardwalk.
Before the boardwalk? The
Uh-huh.
green ones?
No, yellow and green. Yeah.
Well, you only have a choice of one.
Well, it's the yellow
I would have guessed the green, but you I don't know. I
It's
did
that corner.
not watch.
It's that corner. I didn't either.
I haven't watched this all the way through.
I haven't seen this. Is the first I've seen it.
I know. That's why you're being tested. I have not seen beyond the free parking question.
Okay.
I'm sure it's like Boardwalk.
That's the glamour.
She said boardwalk.
That's the trademark of Monopoly. Like, it's Boardwalk. You got to get it. The object of the game is to take everyone's money and be.
No way. I wouldn't say that at all because boardwalk rarely comes into play because nobody ever hits it.
The only person left in the
I don't
game.
agree with that.
While Boardwalk certainly offers the prospect of that, 2,000,
maybe.
you got a hotel. Think about what it costs to get there.
Yeah.
You got to buy each of the 2 properties. Then it's $200 per house per property until you get to that level. So that's another $1,000 on each one to then get $2,000 back.
That's not a
And
big deal.
there are only 2 of them, right? Most of the other monopolies have 3 spaces that you can hit and then draw rent. If you are building up Boardwalk and Park Place before anybody else has built monopolies up against you, then hell yeah, go for it. But if you're in a situation where other folks have monopolies on that hot side of the board and you're waiting to
I would
throw the
say
haymaker, if
Illinois
you will,
and
on
all that,
Boardwalk and
too.
Park Place,
Yep.
that's a loser more than it's a winner.
Well, we didn't have an answer to that. You didn't answer that.
Not really. He just kind of.
I rethink this. I think that it would be the orange into the red would be better because of the price point.
Yes, but
the yellow into the green
is where you get hit most often.
That's if you can afford to build on them. I
True.
would say that the orange into the red you always can afford to build on. I'm.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's a strategy. Hot spots.
Warm colors.
Oh,
okay.
look, warm colors, hot spots.
So those are all warm colors.
You can go on any website and learn the basic parlor trick that the oranges are the best monopoly to
there you
have.
are.
Are you gonna now show like a chart of the Monopoly board with like a heat map?
I'm sad to say that I will.
I knew that existed.
I know that I used to like James Place.
St. James?
St. James.
Yeah.
I used to try to get those because those are relatively cheap. St. Charles is good if you get the other ones too. If you get the orange ones and the purple ones, you get a
I
clean
always
sweep.
went for the first 2.
Okay, well, yeah.
Because nobody else would go for
Well,
them.
I would go for those because they're cheap, but they rarely are the thing that changes the game
but-
in the end game. In the beginning game, they do.
But when you get them and you build them up,
That's what I'm saying. In the beginning game, they do, but in the end game, it's all about pretty much the other 3 sides of the coin. As long as you get if you get the early stuff, the first side of that board is the most important. If you go beyond the luck of getting the first stuff, then it gets a little bit harder and it becomes the second one. And if you get enough, then the third one. It all depends on.
then you want to try to go, because you can't build on these, the utilities and all 4 railroads.
I love the railroads.
Yes.
I love the railroads. So, all right, let's see what
I
else.
always go for the railroads and the utilities, too.
I'm sure you do.
I try.
Reason that is so is because jail is one of the most often landed on spaces in the game.
Jail is good at the end of the game.
The fact that the common roll is 7, then 7 from jail, while not an actual property, it's community chest. 6 and 8, the next more likely numbers are St. James and Tennessee Avenue. So you know that
Those are the
oranges
ones I
likely
said.
to get hit on. And also, by extension, the section between jail and go to jail, that side's the side you want to be building on. It's feast or famine on the other side of the board.
So there's a couple more strategies that are on the practical, not so mathy end. If you get to jail early, go ahead and pay up. Get out of there.
That's
you
what
can
I
also
always
use
do.
your houses as weapons to control the game.
You have 32 houses in the game. You've got to build houses before you can build hotels.
Yes.
The houses have to be physically present and available to be bought, which is why in a lot of circles you hear people say about creating a housing shortage.
Oh,
You
they don't allow
around
you to
level
buy
so that you can pull
that. If you're out of houses, you can't.
See, now, if...
We always played that you could buy houses as long as you have money.
Well, what we did was we played it, you have to build evenly, but Okay, let's
Yes.
say you have St. James
I
in
think that's one of the
Tennessee.
rules, actually. One of the real rules.
Right. If you have St. James in Tennessee, and let's say you just got New York, okay,
But you have to have all three to build.
right, and you want to build on them, and you had the money, we would say, okay, 5 houses would, whatever it would cost for 5 houses, that would be your hotel. Just build straight to the hotel because it's 4 houses, and then the next one is the hotel.
I think we played that way too. I'm not real sure. I'm pretty sure we played that way too. But that's okay. So we know that we're learning the real rules.
Pull the trigger and go to hotels if you need to, or you could sit on the 4 houses and keep other people from having them.
So they're saying that once the houses run out, you can't buy any houses.
Correct.
That would make a strategy that I didn't ever play by. I never played where once you run out of houses, you can't buy any houses.
It would be interesting because is there enough pieces, even with the hotels?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, with the hotels, yes, probably. But it says that they have 32 houses.
I have a
and
Monopoly
only-
game at home. I'm going to have to get it out and see
They only have 12.
if I put
hotels.
a hotel on, like, each property till I run
Well,
out
if
of
they have
hotels.
12, if they only have 12, which I'm showing here,
Right. Then take
gonna
the
run
4
out.
houses and put on each of the other ones to see. Just to see if it covers all the...
that could, if you play by the rules, it changes the game quite a bit than the way I've played.
Okay, final question. When I ask you what is the right way to play Monopoly, how do you respond?
Not with Mike. Oh.
I'm not sure I know his question. I don't think I know what his question is. The right way is playing it where everybody agrees and has fun with it.
Yes.
The right way to play Monopoly is just don't play it.
Don't steal from the bank.
Oh.
And that goes out to my cousins when we played when we were 10.
I would say, is it just like to win? Like how to win?
Hey, it's only stealing if you get caught.
With honor. It's almost sometimes you feel like you have this Renaissance era like of honor and dignity. Not that we're going around slapping each other with gloves and having duels or anything like that, but
you should do that.
that's the thing that keeps coming to me is honor. Playing Monopoly allows you to know people, allows you to get to know people in a way that, you know, formal introductions or being coworkers or whatever doesn't quite show, because in an hour and a half, 2-hour game, you're going to see how people handle adversity. You're going to see how people handle success. You're going to see bundled in this short format
Why I'm on purpose.
that allows you to kind of to see who a person is.
Well, there you go. So, if you ever wondered, that's the right way. I always believe that the right way is the one that everyone likes. That
As long
everybody-
as you win.
No, I didn't win any that night that we played. So,
Well, that wasn't regular Monopoly either.
doesn't matter.
That was Monopoly for millennials.
And you got it for Belkin, too.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't even know who Belkin is.
It was one of your vendors.
Yeah. So, well, I have on my list of things to play the Nietzsche thing now.
Okay, but wait,
Is Nietzsche-
I got one thing real quick.
What? We don't have to play it now. We can. Are you staying?
Probably for about another 15 minutes.
Then I'll play it after you leave.
Okay. So I had one. You know how one of those that if you have 4 houses and you're in quarantine, who you'd want to be quarantined with?
Okay.
I've got another one.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to be quarantined with Elton John.
Well, in House
I can listen
1,
to
you
these.
have Slipknot, Korn, Tool, Mastodon,
Ugh, I don't like any of those
Gojira,
things.
or Godsmack.
All right.
House 2, you have Metallica,
That's the one I want.
Ozzy Osbourne, Judas Priest,
Yep.
AC/DC,
Yep, I want that one.
Guns N' Roses, or
Yep,
Kiss.
that's mine.
Which I kind of thought would be. House 3, you have A Day to Remember, Bring Me the Horizon, Beartooth, Wage
of those
War,
guys.
Architects, or Knocked Loose. And 4, you have Anthrax, Pennywise, Rancid, Dropkick Murphys, suicidal tendencies and flogging Molly.
There's only one of those that I even care about. I don't know any of those other bands.
This one sounds like they would beat you up.
Yeah, I think if I had to choose between those,
it would be two. I kind of figured that.
I would love to, talk to, any of those guys, because they're just, in that same, they're all in that same house.
Right.
And the other ones I could care less about, and I can't name one band that I would want to see out of the other houses.
Okay.
So, whereas that one house, I would like to see all of them.
Okay.
All right. So I'll do that. I won't do that right now. I'll do some other things. Guess this is kind of... Oh, yeah, I wanted to do the thing on... Well, I could do that when you leave, because I played that for you already.
Mm-hmm.
The scam thing. Well, let's take a look at the current, see if this updates. The current, let me see if they updated this so that, okay, we're at, according to, if this is accurate, the coronavirus has now infected more than 1.2 million people, killed more than 68,000 people worldwide.
Wow.
So that's according to Johns Hopkins. There are more than 331,000 recorded cases with more than 9,400 deaths in the U.S. I think that's not really accurate. I think there's more deaths than that. So that's not accurate. Okay, I can delete that once and for all because it's not accurate. I thought they gave us a running tally. All right, let's see.
I just think it's awful. I mean, some people,
let's hear
like I know of a mutual friend of ours was just in the hospital and she was afraid to go because of this.
Sure.
She didn't think she had it, but she still was afraid to go, and she ended up going, and her test was negative, but she had something else wrong with her.
It's scary.
Mm-hmm.
It really is scary. This has to be what it was like during biblical times when there was a plague that wiped out a good amount of the population. And except they didn't have masks and all that stuff to deal with. According to this article, Europe has reached a somber marker Sunday, surpassing 100,000 deaths across the continent. Italy is to have the highest European death total, with more than 23,000 deaths in just Italy, followed by Spain, France, and the United Kingdom. Despite the staggering numbers, Italy is nudged closer to easing some lockdown measures, but restrictions remain largely in place. I'll bet you if there is another one after this, we'll be more prepared and we'll understand how to deal with it. But
it won't be this trial and error scramble
thing.
Right.
This thing is so new to all of us that we just don't know what to do with it. I mean, it's just scary when you think about it. Britain's becoming fast becoming the European center of the contagion as deaths pass 16,000 Sunday.
I was looking at something before we went on the air that when this all first started, in my mind, it was just the United States.
Right.
But the realization hit me tonight before we went on the air of how big this really is. Because I was looking at something that said about the Queen was celebrating her 94th birthday, and she was not having the big blowout that she usually does, that, everybody was posting on social media and things like this to wish her a happy birthday.
Wow.
Because of this virus.
Yeah.
If the Queen can't get her group together, then something's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, it's scary. I don't know what to think about it. says European is dealing with the second wave of the coronavirus. So we've gotten through the first wave.
We are being censored.
So?
America's news outlets.
No, who cares?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard, but we just had a big development in the unfolding Spygate investigation.
Hey, what's going on here?
It's just been
Hit
revealed.
skip.
The challenges
There we
that we
go.
feel here are certainly being felt across the globe. And while it has been jarring, to say the least, for the planet, it's been a bit of a reprieve, a break from the relentless human activity that has led to pollution and plants.
Yeah, that's an interesting, too. I mean, our air's never been cleaner.
Yes, but it has it. I mean, think about it. People are taking their masks and these gloves off and they're throwing them on the ground.
Pollution, air pollution, the ozone, all that stuff has shown a mass improvement because people aren't driving everywhere.
I just like the fact I can fill up my car for less than $20.
Well, I've been doing that for a year.
Yeah, we know.
Anyway.
Animals dying at an alarming rate. Before the pandemic began, there was a startling report that caught our eye. A UN agency claimed that pollution would need to be cut in half in order to save our remaining wildlife. Well, before COVID-19 stopped us all in our tracks, our Maggie Rulli traveled around the globe speaking with scientists. And after the onset of COVID-19, our team asked, is there a link between what's being called the sixth extinction and pandemics? Here's what she learned.
Did you think about that? I mean, think about this for a second. Dinosaurs roamed the earth. They were extinct.
Yes.
Because of meteor showers or whatever. This might be, if you're believing in a higher power, a way to reboot the earth. Let's reboot the earth. Let's get rid of all the negative things. The dogs, the cats, they're not really affected by this.
It's okay, buddy.
No, I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
Look at who's being affected. Human beings. And maybe it's their time to go. So, think about that. There's a little thought process going on there.
As humans, we feel the impact of this pandemic shutting down city after city. It's deafening silence growing louder with each shuttered airport,
It's
museum,
silence
bustling
growing louder.
tourist destination that's now left empty. But the planet feels something different. Without people flying and driving, pollution levels across Europe are dropping. In some places, by as much as half in just the first week they went on lockdown.
Think about that.
Satellite images over
In as
China earlier
much
this year
as
show a
half.
dramatic change in air quality after that country came to a standstill. It's a glimpse into a planet without humans, without deforestation, mining, drilling, traffic.
Think
travel.
how we're the
Scientists
only
say
animal
our actions are
that
one of
destroys the
biggest
planet.
threats to the planet
Takes
and other
trees
animals.
down, takes,
Some
you know,
even connecting them to the threat of pandemics.
We bring wild
maybe
animals
this is just
closer to us.
the higher power's way of saying, okay, you people had your chance. Now we're going to reboot and let another animal or something take over. Maybe the trees will take over that this time.
Maybe.
Who knows? I mean, that's if you're a believer in a higher power, it's something to think about.
When we disrupt ecosystems, and with them come viruses, because all of the wild animals in all the jungles and swamps in the world carry their own viruses. And those viruses, some of them are potentially very dangerous to us.
Even before our lives were changed by COVID-19, across the planet, ecosystems have been being disrupted on a scale like we've never seen in modern times. In Antarctica, 20% of its ice melting in just days during an unprecedented heat wave. In our oceans, roughly half the world's coral reefs have been lost in the last 30 years. Our rainforests, which once grew over 14% of the land on Earth, now cover only 6%. And with this loss of land, another dramatic toll. A global phenomenon. Up to 1 million species of plants and animals are at risk of extinction.
Think about the fact that how many animals are no longer with us at all because of one thing or another, whether humans destroyed that animal or by natural process, it was just eliminated. I mean, it's just something. I'm not going to play this whole clip. I just really found it interesting that, you know, an interesting thought. You know, maybe there's more to this than meets the eye. Maybe we are supposed to be wiped out, by this. And if
Could be.
and if not, maybe we'll be wiped out by the next one. Maybe it's a knock at the door. Hey, pay attention. This could be what will happen to you if you don't pay attention.
And instead of the flood, they're doing it this way. That's more.
Yeah, well, the flood's been overdone. That's already been done. So,
Well, what I'm saying is back then that was a big thing. Now people are building sand walls and stuff
Sure.
like that. So the best way to catch us is technology-wise.
that's exactly right. That's what I'm trying to get at, is that, you know, we don't want to do the same thing every time. But it is something to think about. We have this chart here. States that require you to wear a face mask in public.
I know of one.
I know of a bunch. Actually, surprisingly, a bunch didn't make the list that I thought would make the list. I really thought for sure that certain would be on this list that aren't on this list. And I'm not really sure why they didn't make the list, but here's the list. You got Connecticut, as of April 20th. Must wear a mask. It says applies to residents who are in public places over age 2 and can't maintain at least 6 feet distance from other people. Same rules apply to people who use public transportation, taxis, rideshare services. I guess that would be like Uber and all that. State workers of economic and community development released guidelines for masks to essential workers too. Employees at essential businesses must wear masks or materials to cover their mouth and nose at all times while at work. People who refuse to wear masks aren't required to provide. People who refuse to wear masks aren't required to provide proof that that they're medically exempt. They are not required to prove that. Hawaii says you got to wear your stuff. It says required to wear face coverings, and employees that interact with customers or goods at businesses must wear them too. That's in addition to keeping the 6 foot distance. Maryland, as of April 18th, says here commuters and employees must wear face coverings and using the Maryland Mass Transit. And according to Governor Larry Hogan, brother, employees and customers over the age of 9 must wear coverings. New Jersey, as of April 8th, so they were early in that. They decided they were going to, but New Jersey, like New York, were hit hardest.
And they're close to Philly, too.
Yes. Well, Philly, because of New Jersey and because of
New York,
New York were hit hard. But where we are, we weren't really. We got residual.
Got it from Philly.
Well, we didn't get it nearly what
right.
Other people got it, but it says New Jersey says basically the same stuff. New York, of course, April 17th. I'm surprised they went that long. It says here any residents over age 2 must wear masks or face coverings when they're in public, and social distancing isn't possible. They must maintain 6 feet, of course. So it says here the state has a law on the books banning masks or unnatural attire or facial alteration in public, though it allows masks if police or officials grant permission to wear them. It's kind of weird because, think about this. It wasn't long ago when you would wear this stuff, people wouldn't trust you.
Yes, you're a bank robber. You have your mask on. Oh, what can you remember while he was wearing a mask?
Mm-hmm. Pennsylvania, as of the 19th. Rhode Island, as of the 18th.
I did hear that for mass transit in the area, you have to have a mask on or they will not let you on the bus.
Mm.
And they're only doing fixed routes.
Wow.
But they're not collecting fares or anything, but you must have a mask on.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't know they weren't collecting fares.
No, they can't.
Why?
Because of the money. They'd have too many people.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Jeez. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, but they tell you if you don't have a mask on, you can't ride the bus.
Here's a comment to Tom Brady was thrown out of the park. Such an entitled twit, says the diehard Eagles fan. Of course, Eagles fans aren't going to like Tom Brady regardless unless he came to play to Philly. Then they'd say, "Oh, he's the greatest thing ever." But that's regardless of who you like. If you like the Eagles or the Pirates or Steelers. Or if you like the Steelers, or if you like the Pirates too, the Pirates would probably
That's baseball, wrong sport.
I know. I was trying to be funny. If he came to play for the Pirates, though,
or the Penguins.
If he came to play for the Pirates, everybody would like that too, because he could probably take them to a winning season, and the Penguins too, and the Lions, and the Tigers and Bears. Oh my! Oh man, that's very. Anyway, I like when we get feedback from a customer, from a listener, watcher, whatever we are. Okay. Then we got Jack's asking if it worked, and I'm going to tell him no, but I don't know which one he caught me on. There it is. But yeah, we got, it says here, this is the big one because this is right down the street. Thousands protest in Harrisburg to reopen.
Oh, yes.
I watched part of this. This is really amazing. These people want to get back to their lives. And the thing is, I'm caught. I'm caught between wanting to get back to my life and living. I want to get back to my life, and I want to go back to normal.
You know what it is?
But I don't know I don't know.
You know what it is?
I don't.
I know there are only certain instances where you like to go out. You know, like the movies, for instance, or to band. You had control of your life, doing what you want when you wanted it.
Well, my life hasn't changed much. I kind of am a homebody.
Yes, but with this, you can't just go out and do what you want. You don't have that control over your life anymore because of this, where before you could say, look, I'm staying home, or I'm not going out because I'm choosing it. Now they're telling you you have to stay home.
I mean, for the most part, my life hasn't changed other than going to the movies. Since I haven't been doing wrestling and the bands.
But you don't have that freedom where you could, if you wanted to go, you could go.
I still do it. I mean, I don't do much anyway, except that.
The necessity stuff.
But,
yes, the necessity stuff I see.
I mean, I haven't.
Groceries, doctors.
I haven't done some things because of it, but I mean.
But let's say, like.
But I think it really affects John Q. Public more than me. I'm okay with things the way they are right now, but I understand the need or the want to get back to things.
Yes, because, you know, we both have friends that, you know, like when we went up and played cards with Jen and her mom. You know, we'd love to do that. We don't do it often, but I'm saying that's something that we could, at the spur of the moment, enjoy going and doing. We can't do that now. We don't have that option.
I do.
Oh.
They'll take me. I'll
in
go
the
to Jen's and she'll let me in the door. And anyway, so we got this shutdown, and it was interesting.
Governor Wolf's stay-at-home order. They also want businesses to reopen. Taylor Tasha reports.
This is wild.
People from across the state traveled to the state capitol today despite top health officials' orders to stay home. Many of these people not wearing masks and not practicing social distancing.
Yeah, I'm not so sure I'd be like that. I don't think I'd be without my mask.
Members. The groups claim they are not affiliated with any political party. Some protesters were seen holding flags in support of President Trump. Protesters lined the Capitol steps while others stayed in their cars. Many people showing their support for the small businesses that are currently closed.
Now, keep in mind the state capitol was shut down.
Yes.
But there are some small businesses.
I like that mask.
We don't open things back up. It's not right.
Well, that's the thing that scares me is that, like I said, people are already on a shoestring budget.
It is unreal.
real. I
Her
broke
nose
down
is not covered.
earlier. I could not believe it.
With
Mine
many
isn't when I wear
protesters
mine
standing
'cause I
side
can't
by
breathe.
side and
You
not
shouldn't
wearing
be around
masks,
people if
the
you're
nurses
not
fear that it
covering
could
your
lead
nose.
to a surge in new COVID-19 cases.
We don't think that we have enough equipment in all the hospitals in PA to take care of all the patients that are going to be coming in based on us getting a surge.
And about an hour before the protest, PA state and House Democratic leaders responded to the call to reopen the state.
Our members are constantly hearing from different small businesses in particular. We want to work with them and get them back into the swing of things. But we have a lot to do in the regard of making sure we have appropriate equipment, appropriate testing equipment.
Reporting at the state capitol, Taylor Toshat, ABC 27
So, I mean,
News.
that it's... I understand how they feel, but what's right?
I saw something when I woke up this morning that it's another one of those you don't think about it. But a friend of ours had posted that the thing that this is hurting the most, the people, is with wearing the masks, the people who are hard of hearing
What?
that have to read lips.
What?
Exactly. You know, if you have a mask on and they can't read your lips,
Right.
you know, how are they able to communicate? You're taking their form of communication from them.
Well, somebody's got to lose.
But she said, you know, take your mask down, put the 6 feet between you, but just be aware of those precautions because there are people out there that have this.
Right. How about this? This guy, they had these big loans and they made a certain amount that they could give out. And the burger chain Shake Shack got a $10 million government loan and they decided not to take it.
Wow.
Because they wanted other companies to be able to have it. So that was pretty cool. It says here, Shake Shack will return the small business loan it received in the U.S. From the government. Its first major firm to hand back money aimed at helping small businesses ride out the coronavirus. The company will immediately return the entire $10 million loan as it was able to raise additional capital. So it says last week the company raised $150 million in an equity offering. That, to me, is pretty darn cool because they you know, not everybody is going to be able to get a loan.
Right.
And the fact that they're not taking money because they found another way to raise the money, that really means a lot to a lot of people. So I'm very pleased about that. So that was kind of cool. Of course, in the midst of this COVID thing, there is a lot of scammers out there trying to take advantage of the situation. Yes, that's a better way to put it. And one of the guys that I am a follower of was featured on that.
All right. Well, with that being said,
Yes.
since I know what you're talking about, I am
Yes.
scooting out of here.
I kind of figured that. That's why I started this.
You want to turn my mic down, please?
I will in just a half second. Okay. So this was kind of cool because this is, let's reposition the camera. There we are. So now I'm the featured performer here. And I'll do a little song. Anyway, so this is kind of really interesting because it talks about how scammers are, you know, they're out there everywhere and they're always trying to take your money. And this is a way that they don't have any scruples. They only care about making money, and they only care about their money that they can steal from somebody. So this was the Nightline special that they had on scammers.
Over and over from
Whoops, I gotta
investors.
turn this off because we got this. But this is interesting.
A suburb that
I
once
found
rang
the
with the
whole
sound of
article
children's laughter,
interesting.
the neighborhood has now fallen eerily quiet.
We miss our routine that we once had that is now changed very drastically.
Alicia and Art Coles, like so many others, have had their lives turned upside down by COVID-19. Their small business that provides office furniture installation has cratered.
Like so many companies that, you know, were up and running and doing all kinds of business. Whether they were doing great business or a little business, they're now stuck needing to come up with some capital.
From being extremely...
And this was one that, this is a new scam that I didn't hear of until I saw this video. I saw some scams, and it was interesting what this one is.
Busy to absolutely nothing is shocking.
With so many people forced to work from home, the jobs disappeared.
A lot of things are racing in our mind to make sure that we stay afloat and continue running.
You feel a responsibility to not only your direct family, but also your employees and their families.
To counter the loss of their income, Alicia says she went online to sign up for the government's emergency loan program and was assigned an application number. Then something peculiar happened.
Within hours, an email landed in Art's inbox. The email was asking for an IRS form to be filled out that would have held my social security number, my date of birth.
But luckily, Alicia said...
And the interesting part about that is that social security number, a lot of these scammers, when they do their forms, they kind of make it, they stick this information in the back, like name, phone number, address, and just nonchalantly ask for social security number and stuff like that, some personal data that government would not ask you to do on a form. And that was her first red flag.
Says she noticed the email had a different application number and was sent from a strange email address.
That's the other thing you got to check on, because I'm getting these on a regular basis, especially now that this COVID thing happened. I'm getting them from Amazon, quote unquote Amazon, but when you check their from, it isn't from Amazon. It's Amazon.something something dot something at something. It is not Amazon. So you got to be careful of these scammers out there.
Giving clues to what it really was. A phishing attempt, apparently aimed at stealing their identity. The very type of scam that the FBI has been warning about as the COVID-19 crisis has exploded.
Not that there's ever a good time to be a victim of identity theft or a scam, but this is absolutely the worst time.
Now, new one from the FBI about coronavirus scam. There are bad actors out there.
As Americans settle into this surreal, uncertain reality, there's another epidemic unfolding. Consumer protection experts warn scores of scammers are on the prowl.
Are you surprised that people would sink this low?
I'm never surprised.
To me, it's amazing that they would seek money from people like this, especially knowing that we're all hurting. I mean, I was talking to this guy from Morocco today, and he was asking me to send him money, and I'm like, do you realize that that the world is on hold right now and that people don't have money to just send? So it just is kind of strange. And but then I went to, here's the next part of the scam stuff.
The one thing I've learned about in my career with the FBI is people are greedy.
According to Stephen Merrill, the chief of the FBI's financial crime section, thousands of complaints are pouring in.
When there's an opportunity for a criminal, a fraudster to take advantage of something, they will. And in this case, they've taken advantage of the fact that we're all very scared, we're very vulnerable, and we're looking for answers.
And with all the confusion, scammers are getting creative. With so many Americans using new technology to stay connected, there are more opportunities for cyber criminals. There are the hackers that have derailed meetings, Zoom bombings, occurring in the new work-from-home reality, like this one that disrupted a town board meeting.
Black people.
There are websites claiming to be able to track individuals with COVID-19 around you, only to shut down your phone when the app is installed, demanding a ransom payment.
We can qualify you to get a free diabetic monitor and a complimentary testing kit for coronavirus.
Then the robocalls, vexing even before COVID-19. Now they've hit hyperdrive, capitalizing on a nation filled with panic and fear.
We've seen cases that you could call just flat extortion, where a criminal is contacting an honest person and basically saying that I'm going to come over to your house or find you and I'm going to give you coronavirus, or I'm going to give the coronavirus to your family members or friends if you don't pay us money.
U.S. Telecom is an industry group aggressively tracing these robocalls back to their sources, which are sometimes international in nature. The goal? To shut them down as quickly as possible.
It's our little contribution, given that we can't be serving in the hospital.
You know, the thing is, a lot of these are coming out of India. A lot of these scammers are just... And actually, when you hear them talk, you hear they're clearly not American. And they talk to you as if they have... like they're legit. They try to pretend they're legit. And they say things that just shouldn't. You should be able to track it down. What they're saying is not legit. It's really scary how many people have been scammed out of money.
Hospitals are directly on the front lines fighting the virus itself.
David Frankel is one of these keyboard warriors, trying to identify robocall perpetrators and flag them to phone carriers. He's working with the California tech company Umail, and Nightline joined them as they went after an alleged robocaller. In the shadows,
here's another one.
Now,
I thought Jim Baker was dead, so I guess I don't know things like I think I do, but here's one they're talking about selling a medicine that will be able to cure it.
Openly selling fake coronavirus cures or dubious healthcare products.
You're saying that silver solution would be effective.
Well, let's say it hasn't been tested on this strain of the coronavirus, but it's been tested on other strains of the coronavirus.
And they're making money off of this
televangelist
stuff.
Jim Baker and the company that produces a TV show are promoting a silver solution cure for COVID-19, suing them for trying to sell a potion in a bottle for $80.
Unbelievable amounts of money. And this isn't the only one. I've heard other ones that are selling stuff at a very high price, and people are buying it because everyone's afraid.
The production company for Baker's TV show says it was his guest who touted the product. The company says they've stopped offering it. The litigation is currently pending.
This guy here, this guy here is a real trip.
Middlebrook. Meanwhile, in Southern California, Keith Middlebrook was an actor who played a police officer dispensing justice in Iron Man 2.
Excuse me? Placed under arrest. Are you kidding? Hands behind your back, sir. I'm trying to help here.
His social media showing a man confident.
Hey everybody, this is Keith Middlebrook.
In his success.
I'm the beautiful Maybach. This is a $600,000 car.
His latest achievement, he alleged, was finding a so-called cure that has so far eluded the efforts of the world's best scientists and the entire U.S. government. He posted this bold claim to his 2 million Instagram followers.
After studying cell tissue and chemical biology for many years, I've created the cure for COVID-19, COVID-19, the coronavirus. This is it right here.
There is no cure, and Middlebrook has been
I just don't understand how somebody can outwardly, boldly face lie about something like this, but they do all the time. It's like I got contacted just the other day about a publisher clearinghouse grant that my name was on. This is just like 2 days ago, and I said, and the guy says, "Well, I got my money," and he showed me a picture of a stack of money. I guess that was supposed to be his money, and what I said, well, you know, you're a scammer. I mean, you're obviously scamming, and I gave him a link to a publisher clearinghouse thing that says that we don't do our deliveries like this. We don't do it through Facebook or through any of the scammer places. We do, we come to your house and show up with a check.
Arrested and charged with attempted wire fraud, accused of promoting a false claim to lure investors.
I'm beyond
I hope he goes to jail.
His attorney has said he has no comment at this time.
People obviously, want to get rich quick or whatever the means would be. So he was soliciting investment. So that would be someone who is on a much larger scale.
But
this guy here is the guy I love. This guy is, I found him by accident. His name's Kip Boga. And this guy, that's his job. He just calls scammers waste their time and to report them. And when he gets their checking account information, he reports it to the banks and reports it to the authorities and gets them shut down. He is he's really a cool guy. I can't believe the guy actually has been doing this for a living for the past 3 years. He's actually started doing it just because he wanted to shut people down, and it became his job. He got so many followers, and then he came on. He does it on Twitch, and when he eventually moved over to adding YouTube, now he does it on YouTube, Twitch, and he's got this really big following, loyal following.
Brooke may have been lucky that he never ran into this online personality.
Will it help my cat?
Yes.
This is Kit Boga. He wouldn't share his real name with ABC News for what he claims are personal safety reasons.
I talk to criminals, primarily for my job now.
Kit Boga has racked up millions of views and hundreds of thousands of followers. He says by turning the table on the alleged con artists and scammers. His newest mission, taking on those who are advertising fake cures for COVID-19.
Would you like me to place the order for you?
He took us behind the scenes of his operation. All the walls painted green so he can set up fake backgrounds for his viewers as they watch him talk to these alleged scammers live.
I want to waste their time because I figure if I'm talking to them for 20 minutes or an hour or 3 hours, that's 3 hours that they're not talking to someone.
He did one guy for 36 hours. He talked to this guy, to these two guys, and he runs a timer on his screen. Shows you how much time he spent with these guys. Sometimes he spends 20 minutes. Sometimes he spends days talking to these guys, stringing them along. And the scammers think that he's real, and he's like a 20-year-old girl or an 80-year-old woman or a 80-year-old man or this druggie, not a druggie, but like a, I don't know what you would call him, a beach bum, I guess, kind of voice. He's got all these voices he uses on this.
His grandma.
With a background in software programming, Kit Boga even incorporates voice changers into his system.
If I turn on my voice changer,
Right now, you should hear an old lady coming through.
if I play an old lady or an old man character, the scammers are so much more likely to stay on the phone and try to scam me.
The active ingredient for this is a proprietary blend: clove bud, lemon, lime, eucalyptus, rosemary, peppermint, and oregano essential oil.
I'm sorry, you're saying you got some stuff from the garden and blended it up?
He's fueled by outrage that people would take advantage of these turbulent times.
How dare you?
So we're good now.
Are you kidding me? It's not only is
Yeah,
this illegal,
I just want
but
to
you're
inform-
lying to people who are desperate.
I was mad. I thought, man, how am I going to listen to someone lie and say that this oil can save my husband, or this oil will cure me from the coronavirus, and keep a straight face?
As these scams run rampant, law enforcement and other officials are urging consumers to report these attempts. The Coles did, only to be told they were the first ones to be targeted.
So that's the gist of it. It's really interesting. These people don't really care that they are ripping people off, and it's really sad. It really is sad that that these kind of people actually exist in real life, but they do, and there's nothing any of us can do about it. We're just their guinea pigs, and they're not their guinea pigs. That would be. We're just we're their marks, I guess, is the best way of putting it. But these darn people, they don't care. They don't care that they're hurting people. They don't care that, like, even now we're all hurting, trying to make sure that we're going to be alive, and they're preying on the elderly, actually, for a lot of it. But they'll take your money. They don't care how old you are. So, all right, that's the end of the COVID stuff. I kind of want to talk about this thing. We have a listener, and I've known this guy for a long time. Nietzsche has been a good friend of the show and has been a good friend of mine. And he recently did a thing on, where's it at? I gotta find the, hold on here. He did a report on a person who passed away. And I want to play it for you. I enhanced it with pictures and stuff like that, but I mean, really, it's all his. So here you go. This is on Howard Finkel. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I did.
Hey guys, it's Nietzsche. I hope everyone's doing well. Under the circumstances, I know it's been very tough. Hard to believe it's been already close to 6 weeks of this, but I hope everybody's doing well, and hopefully at some point we will go back to some normalcy. But I wanted to comment on the passing of Howard Finkel. Anytime somebody passes that you grew up watching, it's hard, but this is more of a tribute to Howard Finkel. To me, this is where Vince McMahon, everything he touched in the 80s, turned to gold. Vince McMahon, whether it was wrestlers, whether it was, production crew, TV crew, announcers in this case, he always had the right people for his product. Who had a better voice than Howard Finkel in wrestling? Maybe Gary Michael Capetta was close. When Howard Finkel would get on that mic and introduce somebody or, introduce a new champion, it always gave that feel. It meant more when the winner's name was announced because he had that great voice. He started his career, I believe, in the late 70s, working for Vince's father. And a lot of people I hear is when Vince took over the business from his father, Howard was the first employee he hired. You think back to Howard's career, I mean, so many magical moments that he got to announce. I mean, he got to announce when Hogan beat the Iron Sheik to win the belt. He got to announce when Hogan defeated the Macho Man at WrestleMania 5. He also was on hand for several great defining moments in the wrestling business. When you would go to a house show, in my case, being in Connecticut, the New Haven Coliseum had a lot of WWF events. He would get you so fired up and so pumped up for the wrestling to begin because as soon as he made his introduction, he would say, "Welcome New Haven," to the New Haven Coliseum, and the fans would get all pumped up. He had that voice, and I remember one time I did meet him behind the New Haven Coliseum. They were getting ready for Monday Night Raw and waiting to see a lot of the wrestlers come in. And funny, I remember asking him to take a pic with me and my friend, and he was kind of hemming and hawing. He's like, I'd rather take it with my announcer's outfit on. Let me get dressed and I'll come back. Of course, he never came back. It was kind of a weird moment. Maybe he just didn't like doing that stuff. He was just a classic individual as far as what he brought to the WWF. That's what I mean about Vince McMahon. Back in the 80s, that guy, everything he did, everything he put into place worked like a charm. I mean, it was tremendous. Funny moments of Howard. I could think of when they did the Land of 1,000 Dances, all the wrestlers were singing it, and you see Howard there kind of dancing and clapping his hands and stuff, and it was just funny to see an announcer like that who you wouldn't think would be dancing and stuff. Vince made sure he had him in the video. There was the tuxedo matches he had with Harvey Winkleman.
He was one of the legends on the Legends House. Kind of crazy to think that came out in 2014, and now 3 members from that house have now passed away. Of course, Howard, Mean Gene Okerlund, and Rappy Piper. So that's very crazy to think. One of the things, too, that I really liked about Howard, if you ever get the chance, just watch his introduction when he says Razor Ramon. Now, I can't do it like he could, but he gives it such a flair, and he is so good at saying the name. He kind of does it like with an accent when he announces it. It's very creative and it's really good. I mean, one of his finest moments. And, that was Howard, though. He was just so talented and so gifted at everything he did. He would always do the voiceovers for all the live events that were coming up. I mean, he really had the voice. I mean, he probably was the voice of wrestling when you think about it as far as ring announcing goes. Again, find me somebody that was better. I don't think you will. And, you always heard he loved the business. You could see that. I mean, he stayed in the business for many, many years. and he was in on a funny joke. He wasn't in on it, but I should say he was at the expense of it. Kurt Hennig and Shawn Michaels were feuding back in '93. They got in a fight on the street, and Perfect slammed Michaels onto a car, and it shattered the windshield and stuff. And that was actually Howard Finkel's car. That was Vince McMahon, ribbing Howard, and they always said Howard, took it well. He didn't take offense to it. He wasn't that type of guy, and you could tell he really, really loved being in the business. And listen, I'm not saying he sold tickets or anything like that, or he was a draw or anything like that. But I can tell you right now, you just think about wrestlers like Austin, Hogan, I'll even say Ric Flair, Randy Savage, whoever it may be. I bet they were very grateful that when they won the big belt and they had their moment, he was the one announcing them as the winner, because he always gave it with such passion and such drama, and he made it work so much better. It's tough when you see somebody from your childhood pass on because you remember them so well. And, I had heard for the last couple of years he wasn't feeling good, but then he had always kind of recovered, it looked like. So you always had hope that he, was coming out of it. But it's crazy to think people that I grew up with, Gorilla Monsoon, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Lord Alfred Hayes, and Howard Finkel, as far as announcing goes, they've all passed on now. It's really hard to take, it's hard to believe because part of your childhood is gone. But you're grateful for, the memories you had. And I think Howard was just phenomenal. I really do. And he did a lot as far as, like I said, he was the soundtrack for everybody's victories and even other things he did that were just tremendous. I'm trying to think of them offhand right now, but was good at even introducing the silly gimmicks. He knew how to introduce those just right. He was phenomenal at that. Like I said, he had that flair for so many great moments. And like I said, the only one that kind of comes close to him is Gary Michael Pepetta. Well, I think Howard, you'd have to say, is the greatest ring announcer wrestling ever had. He will be missed. He was a great guy and a great announcer. And again, I hope everyone's doing well. Keep the faith, guys. Hopefully things will be back to normal soon. Mike, I hope you're doing great. Trish, you as well. And have a good day. Take care.
So there you go. That was our tribute, or his tribute to Howard Finkel. I thought it was kind of cool. I hadn't heard from him for a while, and he came up with that, and I thought, that's well, I kind of figured when Howard died that we'd be hearing from him because that's where he shines. So I guess a little bit of non-COVID news. Not that that's any better. An armed hijacker on a city bus in Dallas shoots at officers in a police chase. Man, just doesn't get any too much worse than that. Some poor people that weren't looking for a fight and were in this thing of COVID and distancing and all that stuff, and here we have somebody that is looking for trouble. Armed man is dead after hijacking a bus and leading police on a chase and a shootout that injured 2 officers in the Dallas area Sunday morning. Authorities were on the call at 11 a.m. local time that a man entered a bus and fired a weapon, shooting out several windows. And it says here, he demanded that the DART bus driver take him to an undisclosed location. It says here, the DART officer was reported to have been wounded in the leg, and an officer from the Dallas suburb of Garland also sustained non-life-threatening injuries. Police in Garland began to chase the bus. As officers neared, a man shot at them while leaning out the window. Spikes were deployed on the bus, but the vehicle turned around and headed towards Rowlett. And another Dallas suburb. It says here that the bus passed through multiple jurisdictions, including Richardson, Garland, Rowlett, and Rockwell, while traveling on the President George Bush Turnpike. It was at Rowlett where the pursuit ended after the spikes laid down on the road in the area. The suspect exchanged gunfire with police, leaving the after leaving the bus and was pronounced dead at the scene. And it says here they really didn't say why that all happened. But boy, oh boy, what a weird thing to have happen to that on that particular thing. This was yesterday, I believe, and they didn't have, as far as I know, any more reason to, or let's see if it says, if we have anything. Questioning. Let's see, I'm looking here to see if we can find out why he did it, because as of yesterday, they didn't know why. Oh, here we are. Was wanted. Okay, let's see. Suspect who hijacked Dallas bus on Sunday was wanted in Brazoria County, San Antonio. An armed man hijacked the bus. Let's see here. They identified the man as Ramon Thomas Villagomez, 31, who was wanted suspect for the murder of his girlfriend in San Antonio and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And, well, I guess we know why he did it then. Suspect told the driver to take the bus to the location. Let's see, yeah. The video tweeted in response. Let's see here. Yeah, so I guess we know why he did it then, because he killed his girlfriend. That's a shame. On so many levels, because we had a death, we had the 2 officers that were injured. A lot of very bad things about this. So it's, hey, look here. Hey, I see, haven't seen this guy in a while. She's gone. She, MOW is in the chat room. She, is gone for the day, so you missed her. Let's see. Yeah, so I guess we know why he did it then, because he needed a ride. Yeah, we lost, how many people was it? 16 people. I think it was the deadliest shooting in Canadian history. So, is that the same one? I think that's the same one. No, that's the different one. Oh, that's right, because the one was in Texas. This is the, in Canada, we got 16 killed in a shooting rampage, deadliest in Canadian history. It says, a gunman disguised as a police officer shot people in their homes and set fires and rampage across the Canadian province of Nova Scotia that killed 16 people, the deadliest such attack in the country's history. A police officer was among those who were killed. Several bodies were found inside and outside of one home and in a small rural town of Portapique, about 60 miles north of Halifax, what police called the first scene. Bodies were also found at other locations. The assault began late Saturday. Authorities believe the shooter may have targeted his first victims and then began attacking randomly. So, yeah, that's going to be a scary thing, not knowing where all that came from. The guy just decides he wants to go on a rampage, and well, I just don't even think I can't even imagine what those people were thinking, and all the people that were, kind of scared out of their wits about something like that. It's amazing that those people are still, that those people were even around, and they want to harm other people. So, did they find him? Did they kill him? What happened here? Let's see here. They said, identified the man to believe to be the shooter as Gabriel Wortman, 51, who was thought to live part-time in Portapique, and he wore a police uniform at one point and made his car look like a Royal Canadian Mounted Police cruiser. He first announced that they had arrested Wortman at a gas station, but later said he had died. It's not clear how, and they did not explain further. So I guess they did catch him. Well, that's good. Someone like that you don't want out there hurting anyone else, because they certainly took their... oh, shoot, I didn't say that. Shoot, hold on. Yeah, that's just beyond believable that someone would go out there and just shoot everybody up. But in this day and age, like I said, this could be the COVID virus, maybe the world's reboot for people like that. It's hard to believe. That's the only crimes that I had taken information on. And let's see here. Got 15 minutes before we're done. And I wanted to talk about, let's see. All right, how are we going to finish this? Okay. I kind of think, did I talk about this already? I kind of thought I may have already. Well, we'll talk about this one. Here we go. Volkswagen Beetle electric concept car looks perfect. Toyota has the Corolla, Honda has the Civic, and Volkswagen is not sure. When the company started out, it was all about the Beetle. And while that remained the best-selling car of all time, the Golf took over its job. Now Germans are saying electricity is the future, with the ID.3 eventually supposedly taking over the Golf's job. I'll tell you what, I was never a Beetle fan of the band or the car, but I will tell you that this car looks pretty darn cool. This looks like a sports car, and it doesn't look, I mean, you can see the Beetle in it, but it really looks kind of sporty. I would probably consider owning a car like this. And so we could see this car, I think, as early as next year. But it's I think it's a pretty spiffy looking vehicle. So I don't know, it may do pretty well. Just from a look standpoint, even if it didn't do that well, it looks like more like a Porsche, but a kind of maybe a sexy Porsche. I mean, many people think that the Porsche is already sexy, but I could see this car is doing okay. I don't know. I like it. But it depends where the price point's going to come in at, too. If the price point comes in too high, it's not going to do very well, but I really kind of dig this car a little bit. Let me see here. Just trying to figure out what the price point is on this, if there is one. I mean, I'm sure there is. Here it is. But nostalgia is a big part of what makes Volkswagen such a popular brand. There's no other way to explain why people spend $100,000 restoring 50 horsepower buses that rattle over bumps. You know, I kind of remember them talking about bringing the bus, the VW bus, back as an electric car. I've heard that about, probably 3 or 4 years ago. And I think they said they were going to bring it out around 2022. I might be wrong about that. Says, as for the Beetle, it feels like its job got easier than the bus. During an era of extreme experimentation, Volkswagen tried to revive the new Beetle, followed about a decade ago by the 21st Century Beetle. And no, we're not kidding that those were official names. Last year, Volkswagen dropped the Beetle, used like a used face mask, and seemingly never looked back. So they're actually talking about bringing it back. It could be the next wave of Beetles. So I don't know. That Beetle never dies because we could see another generation. But this Beetle, like I said, looks pretty sexy. I really think this would be kind of cool. It says, in the meantime, we could mention the official ID buggy concept or show you something even better. A study by Sarah Rudin Bushin, I hope I said that, Bushri, that embodies everything we like about the Beetle, Volkswagen, and electric cars. To start off, it's very colorful. You don't buy a Beetle just to blend into the parking lot. Oversized headlights, it says here, and horizontal, interesting horizontal line, and the taillights. We say, let's see here. I want to see if they want would they have a price point? I want to know what the price point's going to be. They don't really talk about the price point. I would imagine I would think it's going to be around 40 grand, though. That would be my guess. But I think it would do well. I think there's lots of people that would like to see something like this out there. So, who knows? Maybe that's going to be the next big thing. I think it would be kind of cool. Like I said, it looks a lot like a Porsche. A little fat Porsche, but it still looks like a Porsche. And so, I mean, it could do really well. I think it'd be fun to drive. Of course, I like electric cars, so that would be my main motivation. So, okay, tweet. There we go. Tweet it. Okay, and I actually would probably like that car a lot. But hey, what do I know? Post that there. I think my friend Pete would like that car a lot too, because we used to. I'll tell you a story that's it's a true story. Back when we were in college, Pete and I, back in the caveman days, he had a VW Bug and I had a Chevy Vega, and I said my Chevy Vega could blow his VW Bug out of the water. He said his VW Bug could blow my Chevy Vega out of the water. We had a drag race. It was the slowest drag race in the world. And the winner was the Chevy Vega. Yes, unfortunately, the VW Bug did not stand the massive power of my Chevy Vega. I was kidding around with him about that the other day because I talked to him for the first time in ages. I said, "Do you remember the drag race?" And he said, "No, I don't remember it." And I told him, and we laughed about it. So, yeah, college does some weird things to you. There's a new car coming out that claims it's going to have 500 miles to the charge. And it's a Cadillac Escalade EV, ready to pre-order. So this battery-powered SUV has it's been dubbed the Triton Model H. The new utility is framed as a premium high horsepower offering that will rival the upcoming Escalade EV. So during the past month, the Model H will offer seating of up to 8 passengers with a rear seating having comfort similar to the front row seats. The SUV will have cargo areas locked up front and in the rear with 200 cubic feet of cargo room available. The wheelbase measures 130 inches, matching that of the extended length 2020 Cadillac Escalade ESV. It looks good. It looks kind of nice, but to be honest with you, it really looks boxy. And depending what the price point is, I don't know if I don't know. I think it looks too big almost. I mean, when I take a look at it, it would be a good presidential vehicle. Put the Secret Service in it because you could put a whole army in it. But it says here the unveiled at a series of digital renderings. In a series of digital rendering, the Triton Model H is available for pre-order now. First 100 orders will receive a special Founders Edition, which will come with a unique additional, unique additions to the standard specifications, which shall be never manufactured again. According to the company, a $5,000 credit card payment is required to put your reservation in, as well as a $135,000 wire transfer within 5 business days. $135,000, so that's $140,000 for this car. I'll tell you what, people said that the Tesla would never sell at $150,000, but they're going to try to sell this Escalade. I don't know. That's a lot of money. It says here it's not chump change, and whether or not the Triton Solar can follow through with its claims remains to be seen. I believe they said it would get I think it would said something about 500 miles to the charge, but I can't really Can't swear to that because I don't see that on here. Oh, here it is. Okay, most impressive with Triton Model H's performance and powertrain claims. The SUV is said to utilize 4 electric motors with 1 motor per wheel. The total output is 1,500 horsepower, while the sprint to 0 to 60 is 2.9 seconds. Range per charge is in excess of 700 miles, while towing capacity is set at 15,400 pounds. Okay, so, I mean, that's pretty impressive. If you can get a car to be at 700 miles for a charge, that's pretty good. So now maybe the $135,000, it's now within, it makes more sense to spend that kind of money, but again, it's really huge. And if you need it for business or whatever, I mean, that seems, I don't know, I don't want a vehicle that big. I don't know. I just don't see I mean, that's really, I mean, it's, I don't know. I think it's a lot of money for what it is. But then again, my car was pretty expensive. But my car is a luxury car that is, see, I just love my car too much. It says, oh, here's another article. It says 700 miles. That's more than 1,100 kilometers. 8-seater with a towing capacity of 15,400 pounds. New Jersey-based Triton Solar, not known to us before, today announced an all-electric. So there we are. They're from New Jersey. Triton says the, it'll have a 200-kilowatt battery to get over 700 miles. That's twice the size of my battery. And the range may be really long, but we're not sure that 200 kilowatt would be enough to go 700 miles on such a huge vehicle. I got to think that, I mean, my car is probably about 4,000 pounds. Mostly it's battery. So you're looking at a car that's probably 6,000 to 8,000 pounds, I guess. So, I don't know. Just trying to understand. They don't have a lot more information in the other article. I still think that's a lot of money. So, I mean, I guess I like the idea of, I mean, the 0 to 60 is no faster than my car, but I like the idea of being able to have that kind of mile. Oh, here we are. 0 to, okay, up to 700 miles, 200 kilowatt battery pack, 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds, all-wheel drive, 4 electric motors. That's better than me. I mean, I've only got 2 electric motors. How much does this battery weigh? Quite a bit. I believe that the reason my car is so heavy, which is, like I said, mine's about 4,000 pounds, and the average car is about 2. So I would say 2,000 pounds. I would say that chances are that the reason I would tell you that new one is about, it's going to be at least 6,000, if not 8,000 pounds for the size of that vehicle. So it says towing capacity. Yeah, we said that. Warranty's 10 years or 150,000 miles. I don't know. Again, I don't really know that. I mean, again, I could see it for security companies. I could see it for construction companies, maybe. I don't see this as a luxury vehicle, though. I don't know. I don't think I'd spend that kind of money for it. But then again, I like my car. Because, I mean, think about charging it. It's still going to run you. Chances are, because it's not a Tesla can charge at 180 miles in 15 minutes. The other guys are at about 20 to 30 miles an hour that it'll charge. So, unless they have a quick way of charging that battery, you're going to be sitting a while waiting for that thing to charge. It says here, it says on a single charge. But it doesn't say, I mean, unless they come up with a better way to charge that car, you're going to be waiting a long time before it's charged. So that's the one thing that is really kind of a big deal to me. Anyway, all right. I guess it's time to get out of here. So I'm going to, what's that? Well, that's weird. Let's see here. There's that. Then there's, why is that there? That should be, okay. Gotta figure out how to get this, oh, it's shut down, that's why. Let's try this again. See if maybe we'll get it this time. All right, not getting what I want. Oh, there we are. Okay. All right. I want to thank you for listening in, and
the following program contains scenes and language
as
of
always,
a frank and explicit nature.
Thank
Viewer
you
discretion is advised.
For listening in, and I will talk to you guys next week at the same bat time, same bat channel.
We're still the one.